January 29th, 2011. This is today's climate change update. And as you can see, I got a new tapestry behind me. The design is called African Warriors in Masks. I call it the Goose. But I like it, so there it is. So let's begin tonight, okay? Let's do the extinction protocol. Rage hard. Sun unleashes massive double explosions. January 28th. Earth dodged another bullet as soon as the sunspots turn away from the planet that had begun going ballistic, firing off massive twin explosions, or CMAs. And they have a little film on here to watch. Pretty impressive. Landslide destroys houses in New Zealand. Several houses have been damaged or destroyed after heavy rains from remnants of Cyclone Wilma. A house on Waiheke, Waiheke Island fell into the sea. The collapse at Ontangi Beach was caused by a slip. Emergency services were alerted at about 5 a.m. on Saturday. The barking of a dog alerted two women inside who escaped just before the house plunged off the cliff. Wow, that's a crazy story. South Africa hit by worst flooding in living memory. 120 dead. Johannesburg, South Africa. Food crisis. South Africa is reeling from unusually heavy rainfall that has caused flooding in many parts of the country, wiping out crops in what is the continent's main breadbasket. More than 120 people have been killed in the thunderstorm and flooding since mid-December, and some 20,000 people are in need of assistance. The South African government has declared disaster areas in 8 of its 9 provinces. And it's not over yet. Story continues. Unusual cloudburst floods streets in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. A torrential rainfall submerged streets, cut off electricity in parts of Saudi Arabia's second largest city on Wednesday, raising fears of a repeat floods of 2009, which killed more than 120 people. RSOE is reporting they got 111 millimeters in like 2 hours. That's a lot of rain. They have a cyclone takes aim at West Coast. Australia braces for another flooding catastrophe. Now this is on the West Coast. This is the opposite side of where the problems were before. Perth, Western Australia's southwest, including Perth, is on cyclone watch, with residents warned to brace for high winds, brush fires, coastal storm surges, and localized flash flooding. Category 3 tropical cyclone Bianca was at sea off the state's northwest coast on Friday, but is expected to cross the southwest coast early on Sunday as a Category 1 system. That's all they need. Another cyclone, right? Then they've got an interesting story after this. Magnetosphere anomaly may be indication a reversal is accelerating. And then they have some graphs, of course. We see strange pattern in the planet's magnetosphere, which may be one more indication of a gradual magnetic field weakening. The field looked like it's having some difficulty generating field strength when the solar winds have been fairly weak as of January 28th. Interior temperature of the core dynamics fluctuations within the Earth indicating a magnetic reversal is speeding up, may be the culprit. Definitely interesting story. And let's go to, they didn't really have anything on Scott.net today except for the big storm on the East Coast, of course. RSOE, yeah, that's the one. The only one they've not covered is was the heavy rainfall in Saudi Arabia. And here's a story I wanted to cover off of Ice Age Now. Violent tectonic activity tearing Africa in two. Africa is starting to split apart, says the article on Spiegel Online. The first tear came in the last million years, resulting in the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden. Now the Earth's opening up massive expanse of land stretching from Ethiopia to Mozambique. In recent months, the seismic activity has accelerated in northeastern Africa as the continent breaks apart in slow motion. Researchers say that lava in the region is consistent with magma normally seen on the seafloor and that water will ultimately cover the desert. I believe I've covered this story once before, but I think that bears watching. And outback Australia enduring high record temperatures. Canberra, local media reported on Friday that the outback Australia is experiencing sweltering conditions with temperatures rising to record highs in some areas of Queensland and South Australia. After enduring the worst flooding in 200 years across the state of Victoria and Queensland, outback Australia is now facing another extreme weather condition. South Australia went through 6 days of high temperatures, registers the hottest day in 21 years. On Tuesday, the town of Roxbury Downs reported a record 48.5 degrees Celsius. And the story goes on. And then what else? They had a couple more stories on here I wanted to cover. I gotta get the thing back to where it was. And we have Tropical Cyclone Wilma lashes New Zealand upper northern island. Wellington, the fire service said Saturday that over 200 serious incidents have been reporting as New Zealand's upper northern island is hit by this cyclone. And now here's a weird one. I didn't think about Lebanon as a skiing vacation, but apparently there was a big avalanche in Lebanon on the Quorn Mountain, Q-O-R-N-E. Apparently it's over 3,000 feet, and they got a snow reserve, and they had some really bad weather and an avalanche, and I think a French national was killed, and they called out a bunch of people to try to save everybody. And let's see, that is about it for tonight. If I missed anything, please let me know. Until tomorrow, enjoy it while you can, everybody. Thanks.